Please, if you can hear me, let me see some stickers. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. How are you guys doing? Okay. So, you're welcome, everybody, to today's powerful session. And I'm very excited because today I know it's going to be fire. Like, we need an extinguisher somewhere, please. Okay, so before we start, let's just recite the university pledge. I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Okay, so Precious, if you can hear me, I would like you to take the pledge, please. Can you guys see my screen?
No, ma.
No, we can't see it.
Okay. Right. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Why am I not hearing everybody? Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
It's very low. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Precious, let's have it, please.
Your screen is not yet visible, ma'am.
Sorry, sir.
I can't see it too. I'm not sharing your screen yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chima. All right, you can go now, please.
This teenage group, I ignite my inner champion, unleashing the greatness in me. I believe in myself. I trust the process, and I trust the power of synergy. I don't believe in the impossible because it means I am possible and I achieve the extraordinary. Building credible relationship is my superpower. From spark to flame, we ignite mutual partnership. We rise by lifting others. We rise with purpose, connect with passion, and thrive together. Together, we are unstoppable, unbreakable, and unbeatable. League Synergy Group, we unite and rise as one family.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chima, for helping out. I really appreciate it. Okay, now let's go into the main thing we came here for. So the theme of today's Q&A session is knowing yourself before building wealth. So before I start, let's do something. We'll have to make use of a message box, and this is another way of getting to know ourselves, right? So let's just type our name and what you do. Let's do it that way. The next, let's say 3 minutes, you can do that. Your name and what you do. Okay. 3 minutes. Okay, you can say my name is Emeka. Um, a video editor or my name is however it is. You can just okay. All right. So while we're waiting for that, today's topic or theme is knowing yourself before building wealth. Today's, I don't know how you guys see, but today's own is actually very, very powerful from the theme. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for bringing this out because first, I'm sorry, I did give recognition to people that are due for it. I want to thank my honorable chairman, Mr. Kabi, for this privilege of anchoring today's session. Thank you very much, sir. I don't take this privilege for granted. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very much for giving me this platform to or the privilege to do this, to anchor today's meeting. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so knowing about yourself before building wealth. When we hear the name Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and all the big, big names, what really comes to our mind? The first thing we'll have to think about or that comes to our mind is things like, okay, money, power, influence, innovation. We think about those things, but the thing is, before the headline, before the billions, before the global recognition, there there was this thing that is common with these people, and that thing is actually the clarity of self. Like, let's say, for example, Elon Musk knew he was obsessed with solving impossible problems. Bill Gates knew as a young boy that software was going to shape the world. Imagine him having that vision from the age, a particular young age. They didn't start with money, obviously. They start with understanding who they were, because wealth is not built from confusion, right? It is built from conviction. And I believe if you were present in yesterday's online meeting, you would actually get some things about conviction it was a powerful meeting. And the thing is, you cannot build wealth in confusion, but in conviction. So it is not built on other people's, like, let me use a copying other people. It is built from clarity, knowing yourself first. So if you don't know who you are, money will only magnify your confusion. That's just the thing. If you don't know who you are, in fact, the money is more like a waste. Okay, but when you know yourself, your strength, your value, your purpose, wealth becomes a tool and not a trap. So tonight, as we dive into this question and answer session, I want to ask you to ask yourself one honest question. Before I chase wealth, do I really know who I am? Because self-awareness is the foundation, and without the foundation, no structure can stand for long. So I believe we all have our questions ready. And I believe you all have your book, because I have my book and my pen ready as we'll receive our chairman. And please, if you have a question, it's in the message box, or you can just raise your hands and we'll call you. Okay, so please, let's, with a round of applause, with all the emojis that you can get, with anything, like, just let's welcome our honorable chairman in person of Mr. A.A. Kabi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the emoji. Thank you for the excitement. Thank you for having me here once again, our monthly Q&A. I'm super excited to have myself here with you guys. It's always an amazing moment here every Sunday. But I think this is one of the best Sundays I used to have, based on the fact that it actually dig much deeper. I mean, it's not a session usually on the surface, because it's where a lot of people get to ask questions and bothers them, sometimes within the academy, I mean, within the university, sometimes outside the university, sometimes more personal. And I think today's topic is a little bit more resonating, particularly with myself. And I think one of the reasons why I'm super excited. So as a way of introducing the topic, just like she has mentioned, the theme is knowing yourself before building. Knowing yourself before building. And we have three critical areas we are focusing on, which is mindset, values, and belief system. Now, I like to start by this very powerful quote. I thought about it a while ago while I was trying to look at the theme again, and I told myself that, look, if you don't know yourself, there's every probability that you will walk in other people's knowing. If you don't know yourself, the probability that you walk in other people's knowing is very high. And then what you tend to get out of it is very little. So, and how does it work? It is when you know yourself and you know what you are capable of, that you can begin to attract other things that look like what you are capable of from the universe. So if you are lost in the universe, as big as it is, so there's every possibility that you are just drifting around, and then you are probably going to be attracted to, I don't know, whatever it is, but it looks like baggages, it looks like troubles, it looks like challenges, it looks like a lot of problems, which is never going to be ending. And that's why we tell people that one of the first thing you like to do in terms of building wealth is knowing yourself. Now, I'm going to give you a formula before I'm done with this introduction. But before doing that, what do we mean by mindset? Your mindset, literally, of course, we have been shouting mindset is, in my own definition, I would say a kind of mental attitude or a way of thinking, the way that shape how you perceive or respond to situations. You see, it's just your way of looking at things, how you perceive things, how it helps you shape or understand situations. So it could either be a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. So by fixed mindset, we mean that it's not growing, it doesn't develop, it doesn't know much, it rejects things, and that's what leads us to what we call belief system. But then before that, this mindset helps you to perceive some set of principles that look like a standard. In your own case, looks like the values you hold more appreciable to your heart. It can come in form of honesty, in form of kindness, trustworthiness, all these, I call them virtues. So you also need this. But then your mindset and your belief system, okay, I said your mindset and your values shape your belief system. So what is now the belief system? A set of conviction or principles that you hold very true to yourself, that influence how you are going to see some other things or some other people in the universe. I was giving one of our students a while ago an example where I said that Brian Tracy said, you don't believe what you see what you believe. Let me repeat that again. You don't believe what you see what you believe. Let me give you a simple example. Like in Nigerian perspective, if you have been told, maybe like some of us in the past, or when we are little, your parent told you that a particular language behaves in a certain way. Like they will tell you that this particular tribe, they are very aggressive. So that is the belief system you have about them. So eventually, if you get to meet anyone from that part or from that tribe who is not actually aggressive, but because you already have this pre-programmed belief system on them, you're always going to just believe you're going to see what you believe in them, not actually what you see. So that is how it shaped. And this happens in a lot of ways. This is just an example. Now, this is the formula I say I'm going to give you, and I'm recommending it for you. So I now notice that one of the formulas to knowing yourself is what I call self-executive meeting. I don't know if I've discussed that in this community before. It is very, very important. And that's one of the things I do. Now, I noticed at a point while I was trying to discover myself and while I was trying to know myself, struggling to know who I am and what I can do best, that is relating to my talent, my gift, and what people will celebrate me for. See what I noticed. So there is different version of you, meaning that there is this nonchalant aspect of you, There's this serious part of you. There's this lazy part of you. There's this uncooked and untrained part of you. And there's this part of you that is always yearning to grow and get better. There's this part of you that wants to be wealthy. There's this part of you that wants to live in a wealthy environment. So each time you find yourself, and there's this nonsense part of you that just like to play around. So each time you meet or you go to environment or you meet friends or you browse on the internet, any part of you that click, that's other part of you that is in you. So it's usually very activate, like it's active. So assuming you are browsing through the internet and then you happen to see that you like seeing nonsense things, like, you know what I mean? You like just going to rubbish website and just seeing rubbish. So there's this part of you that like that funny nonsense things. So what often happens is that this is the formula I'm teaching you now. We tend to feed that part of us that we don't need in the future. So, and we tend to starve the part of us that is very important for the future. So, in other words, you are supposed to have an executive meeting where you gather all this part of you, gather everybody. Obviously, you are alone, but in your head, you know that you need to talk sense into some people inside your head. The journey starts from you. You must have been seeing a lot of nonsense people in the society. You must have been recognizing a lot of your friends that are not doing well. But what you have not realized is, have you recognized yourself? Have you recognized that part of you that is not doing well, that need to be spoken to? That part of you that is very lazy, that is not ready to work, or that is not ready to read, that cannot discipline, undisciplined part of you, all of them, they are there. So when you have this executive meeting, you need to talk sense into some part of you that need to hear the sense. And like what I said, so there should always be a chairman or a representative or a president that is very serious, which you are not giving a voice, because that same voice is inside of your head, who always wants to be committed, who is always feeling like is left behind, but you are not giving it a voice, which is the reason why he's not the one speaking each time. And even when you are, like I was having a conversation with one of us this morning, and he said things like, I now told him, even when you find yourself in a serious environment and they're having a serious conversation, in his word, he said, you are just going to find yourself saying, oh, more, oh, more. You understand? Because that part of you who is supposed to represent in a serious place has never had a voice. So all of a sudden, he's expected to speak, he's expected to represent. But since he has never had a voice, the useless part of you that cannot speak there is now going to just be saying, oh, more, these people now, wow, they mad, they just take life too serious. Like everything looks like, so, but you are just displaying the part of you that has been active all the while. So I challenge you today, before we start the question and answer, you need to find that part of you that is committed or supposed to be committed, and give it the leadership of your life. Before any other person can talk to you, excuse me, can you sit down and give a voice to that serious and committed, that honest part of you who really have this drive to drive you to your future, to meet your future self. I tell you, your future self is waiting for you right now, but that you are not ready, or the part of you that is supposed to meet it is not prepared and is not ready to move. Until then, then your wealth is limited, and whatever you can achieve in this life is also limited. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my way of introducing today's session. I hope that we're going to have a nice time together. Feel free to ask your question. Please feel vulnerable. Sometimes for us to know what bothers you and how to channel to better help you, you need to tell us the diagnosis of your illness. And I believe I'm gradually becoming a mind doctor, and I can see through your conversation into your heart. And I believe that God will guide us to be able to give you the prescription that is required. Thank you so much, and let's get it started.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful introduction. Okay, everyone. So if you have your question, you can start. You can raise your hands or you can start typing. If you have any question, maybe a challenge, just like Mr. Kabi has said. If you have a challenge, you have any thing that bothers you, and you feel like you need help in a particular thing, so you could just air it out. There's a solution for you in this place. Okay, Mr. Bigboy.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you, the chairman of this great university. So I'm going to ask a funny question, and at the same time, it's loaded with a lot of impact. So my question goes like this: Mr. Chairman, for now, let's assume you're not the chairman. Let's assume you're not the chairman of Lead Synergics. You're just someone that gets into these synergies and you're in 200 level. Now, assuming you don't have the money that is going to be given to you at the end of 200 level, what are the different ways in which you would take to make sure that you kickstart even without the money that will be given to you as will I call it an incentive, or permit me to use the word incentive. How will you do it the other way around without, will I say, focusing on that sum of money that will be given to you? Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, that's a very powerful question. So please, the moderator, I will need like 5 minutes to be able to give him a rundown responses. I believe within 5 minutes I should be able to do justice to that. So first and foremost, I often tell people that do not focus on money. Please get this. If you are not getting it before, I don't know who need to hear this, but in your life, do not focus on money. If you focus on money, what happens is you keep running to get the money and the money keep running away from you. Money answers to value. Now, what do you focus on? Value creation. That is your focus completely. Please forget about money. Money, permit me to say it in this language, maybe many people understand it very well. It's like in our Nigerian language, we call it ashawo. So it's just anyhow you want to do with me. Once you have money, just so here, once you have value, money is too unserious around value. So it's too cheap around value. So that's why in my life, even in some of the people I'm doing partnership with now, I don't look at what their earnings is. I've never done that. I never want to do that again. But the wealth keep accumulating. The more I'm even looking away from it, the more the wealth. If I open my account details, sometimes even when I used to put my phone on, most times now, flight mode. But each time I have to on my phone, and you need to see the number of alerts that are trooping in. Now, but that is not my focus, because again, that gets you distracted. Anytime you want to focus on money, I've done this exercise time and time again. I don't know how many times I need to repeat it. Do not focus on money. Even when people promise you money, do not focus on it. Focus on the value you can get around those people. Even if you expect money from them, first and foremost, can you ask yourself sincerely, what value do I have to offer? Now, let me stop here. Let me go to the next place of conversation. Now, if you are successfully able to focus on value, then you now want to be asking yourself questions like, what does value look like for me? What does value look like for the people I'm relating with? It can be your partners, it can be your colleagues, it can be the community you are in, it can be whosoever you are relating with. It can be your customers, it can be your relatives, it can be your spouse, anybody that you are relating with. What's the translation of value to you? And what's the translation of value to these people at this moment? Because like Stephen R. Covey said, there's every possibility that you think what you are offering looks like a value, but at the other end, the person who you are offering this value to does not see it as value. So they are not going to appreciate it. You may think that wonderfully you have gifted them. They should be happy because you've given them what looks like value to you and you've done your best. But to them, they don't interpret. For example, sometimes our staff in the office, when we say the end of the year, okay, let's just buy some rice. Let's spend like maybe 5 million or whatever the amount is. We just buy rice and share with them. So let them go and eat. To them, they don't like that. They prefer partying. Like use the entire of that 5 million naira, go and budget rice, go and organize party, carry DJ, let us dance. And they are okay with that. More than the rice. And for people like us, like, but is there value in dancing? Like, it's even stressful to me. But then to them now, if you go and buy that rice, not to say that they will not appreciate it, but like really, Oga no try. So, Mr. Bib, you now want to know the value the people you are giving the value to, what looks like value to them. You may want to approach them and ask them if you are not clear. But in any case, you are clear. Then also rate it to yourself. Does it look like a value to you? Because it's like value to value. And you can't sometimes afford to want to please people when what you are doing to please them, it doesn't go down well with you. So it's going to be a lose win. In the essence, they are going to win by you providing that value, but you are going to be losing because it's unlike you. You may be damaging your belief system, you may be damaging your value system, you may be damaging your mindset, trying to provide a value for people. So you need to rate is give and take. In any case, be able to find a balance that is a win-win. Then go ahead. Go ahead in providing such a value. So again, now the next step will be that now you understand the value. What does it take to give the value? What is the competence level you need to be able to give the value? What do you need to organize? Like how good do you need to be able to provide the value? What training do you need to go through? What capacity do you need to develop? How can you even bring about the value? Now, this is the next challenge. How long will it take you to bring about this value? Because your target will be that you want to offer yourself like a value. Not before you receive, you always want to give. Before you receive, you always want to give. So, and that is a principle. I'm going to stop here now. So, but when you understand that, for me, if I'm in this community, let me answer your question straightforward now with all this explanation. If I'm in this community, I first of all want to understand what the community wants in like a requirement from me to be able to step into whatever level I want to go to. And that's the same way life offers it. Whatever you want in life, then there's a price tag attached to it. There's a standard you need to get to. There's a level of discipline you need to have. There's a level of competence you need to have before life or before the universe hand over what you think you are worth or what you think you need from the universe. So it's always an exchange. It's you that maybe you consciously or unconsciously don't know. But when you now want to know, because that's where the self-awareness comes in. That's where knowing yourself before you can what? Before you can build anything. Now, it is when you now consciously offer that value, then the people in exchange, either willingly or maybe in agreement, can give you back what you want in return. So if I'm in this community, I'll just look out for all the requirements, get them fulfilled. Now, let me tell you something else that is more important than just offering a requirement that people need. Always top something up on top of what is required, because what happens is that a lot of people in the universe are offering the same value at the same rates that you're probably offering. And that's what happens even in the business world. So you find yourself competing with a lot of people. Now, for you to get on top, you need to offer something extra. And this is how extraordinary people are built. You need to offer something extra. By the time you have to stretch, it doesn't look like you have any choice. If really you want to win, you have to add something extra that look like, oh, this is an added advantage. And you stand out. I often tell people that anywhere I found myself, aside just what the normal everybody do normal, I have to find extra. So I'm not even competing to do what the requirement is. I'm competing to add up. And therefore, I can't get lost in the crowd. So obviously, before the university announced me or before the community announced me, I already announced myself. So it doesn't look like they have any choice. You don't have any choice. Or anywhere you enter, see me like, see me here, see me here, see me. I'm not going to be saying it with mouth, but my value announced me. And you don't have any choice. You have to work with me. And even in the place of work, anywhere you find yourself, if you do this, even your bosses will start inviting you to tables that you never thought you can be. Your name will start be mentioning in rooms that you are never appearing. And it's going to take you places. So, use value like your lenses are like your driver to drive yourself to whatever place you want to enter. Because your value will often always arrive before you. I don't know if I've responded to this question, but this is where I want to stop. Mr. Habib, did I answer your question?
Very well, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking an intelligent question. So let's have the next person. Thank you, and Hope, you can take it up, please.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Sam. Okay, the next person is Mr. Rabino. I think I saw your hand up.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman. It feels nice to always be on this particular call every Sunday. So my question is something that has been disturbing me for a while. Um, I'm going to explain it, then ask the question. I always find myself on a lower ground sometimes, like feel discouraged at some points because of some results and some results I'm not getting, and some other stuffs I feel like I put a target to myself and then I don't reach that particular target. I feel kind of like down. So the question is, anytime I feel that particular thing and it's always aligned with, I see a post on the group that always stir up something inside of me like an encouragement. So anytime I see it, I am encouraged, very, very encouraged. And most of the times you are the one posting these things, and then they put up a fire in me. It kind of feels like you are now the encourager. So my question is, if you are constantly encouraging us to put up fire for ourselves, to move on a higher ground, how who is motivating you? Kind of like, because you also need kind of like a motivator. I don't understand who motivates you if you are our motivator and you are our encourager. And the question follow up question is, has it always been like this for you? If you are your own encourager, or first, who encourages you? That's the major question that's been bothering me. I want to ask so I can get clarity. Thank you so much.
Okay, that was a very powerful question. I can see that these are questions and answer session is becoming very powerful. I told somebody today, I said, this is going to come like an international program in the future. It's just me trying to hold it back and trying to prepare myself, studying and trying to position so many of you so that it won't always be around Mr. Kabir, right? And I need to really build the capacity before we face the world. Now, Rabino, that was a very intelligent question, right? You're going to get answer. So let me have like 5 minutes also, the moderator, please. So first and foremost, there are two questions you asked. Let me repeat them to see whether I really understood them. So you find out that I'm always trying to motivate you, even when you feel down, things are not aligning, and then just a little conversations from me always click and you find yourself motivated. So who is my own motivator? If I have developed myself so much that I motivate you like this, who is my own motivator? And follow-up question is, and have I always been like this? So first, everybody understand this concept. I've said this earlier, when I said there is untrained part of you. Omego has said this better when he said, every unwealthy person you see, every poor person you see is not a poor person, but is simply untrained wealthy man. So, and the moment you are giving birth to, there are forces that acted on you without your consent. Forces like your parents, that's your mother and father, your environment, your community where you stay, your neighbors, your friends, the people you talk to every now and then, the social media handles you look at every time and then, the people you follow, the people you listen to. It doesn't matter who they are, but provided they speak to you, even on the TV. Sometimes they don't even necessarily talk to you. You just look at their lifestyle and they're already shaping you. So what often happens is that the 5 sense organs you have, which is a window to your conscious mind. Listen carefully. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your skin, those 5 sense organs you have is a window to your conscious mind. And your conscious mind is where you first of all think about things that you immediately see around your environment. And once you always interact with a particular pattern, what happens is that your subconscious mind is deep down in there trying to record patterns that are repeated. There's a way that God has so built this in us that your subconscious mind never gets to record things that your conscious mind see from the windows of the sense organs until when they are repeated in a pattern. So for me, I was somehow lost in the past. I would say prior to 2020, even throughout my master's degree level, though I studied very hard and I work very hard, I'm even one of the best students, even at the master's level. But what happened is that I was still lost in the world because even though whatever I study, whatever knowledge I gather does not really help me to discover myself. Again, this is a message to you that you may be knowledgeable or you may even have money, but you are not wealthy because you don't know who you are. And I often dream one time again that a time will come, though I'm working directly with people that does not have much in terms of wealth, in terms of money now, material wealth, because, and is a ground for us to prepare ourselves, because we're going to face people that are very wealthy somehow, but they do not really discover a purpose around their wealth. There's no meaning to their wealth. Somehow they have done a lot of things right, somehow they have repeated some patterns, but they don't really know who they are and a talent or gift that is gifted to them by God that they can use to even multiply. Because I believe if your worth today is 100 million and you build all of that without discovering your supernatural powers, there's every possibility that you have struggled to be able to build that 100 million. Then the same effort you used to build that 100 million, if you would have discovered yourself, you would have been building like 500 million or maybe a billion, following the same stress. And again, this time is going to be much easier because you have discovered something very unique about yourself. You know yourself. So what am I saying? There's the higher you and there's the lower you. The higher you is the person you look up to in the future. It is the you in the future. It is the excellent you. It is the developed you. You know, when you say developed countries and undeveloped countries, you now find out that those ones are doing very well already. They know every technologies. They have all the wiring, all the everything. They are very, very expert in many things. So this uncooked part of you that is lower, it is not a shame that you are like that. Of course, you are giving back to, you are not expected. Everybody is on a clean slate. You are not educated. You are uncooked. You are untrained at that beginning. But as time goes on, there's every possibility that you come across people, you come across environment, you come across situations that's supposed to have clicked and touch the inner part of you that could help you project or help you begin to develop into the higher part of you. If you find yourself in this community, you must have understood very clearly what I'm trying to say. That before you join, you find out that there's this part of you that was really, 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 really lost. But right now, you find out that there's this part of you that is becoming higher and higher, even though the money has not materialized. But you can now see that, look, I am something. I am something. I have a voice. That tiny voice of you that you have been ignoring is now getting clearer, is now getting bigger. You can now speak with confidence. You can now have some boldness. Just imagine that the money begin to materialize from there, which definitely is going to happen, if not now, immediately. So now, because there's part of you that is dead, is not alive, so it is okay that somebody need to keep scratching it, which is what is happening in our community. Somebody need to keep constantly scratching it, keep scratching it. Wake up, wake up. Okay, you are sleeping, you're unconscious. Wake up, wake up. And all of a sudden, you are going to wake up at a point. Now, but when you are trying to wake up, you know, even normal wake up now, when you sleep, normal sleep, sometimes you are like, say, the sleep never come up for your eye. Okay, I wake you before now, you go back to sleep. So situations sometimes still keep you, even though you, after this 1 hour, you just somehow, I don't wake, this session, open my head today. But just wait, some few times down the line, you are sleeping again. What happens is that if you have 20 years of your life, 30 years of your life now, you should know that 1 hour session cannot unprogram the program that have been running for the last 30 years. It's not possible. 1 hour cannot remove that pattern, cannot remove that program and install a new one just like that. So you need a level of repetition. I'm rounding up. You need a level of repetition, constant reminding, constant repetition. And a point will come that you are now forgot you are fully awake. You are fully awake. So for Mr. Kabir, to an extent, a very large extent, I'm very, very awake, much awake than many of you can think. That sometimes, do you know, even when I'm sleeping, I'm still working. Because I work, somehow I work, I think about things, I sleep with it, I find the answer in the dream, I wake up and I jot it down and I continue. You see how I work? But some people, because their pattern of programming in their subconscious mind, they have watched some horror movies, they have listened to some rubbish people, some village talk, and some nonsense talk. So when they sleep, it's even the that is pushing them up and down. So now, what am I saying in essence? When you get to some certain level, it is okay when you are not really awake, fully awake, but you need to keep working to keep yourself awake. Like you need to keep tapping until you are fully awake. If you need to wash your face with water, go and wash yourself with water. And that necessarily mean going through the processes that will put you awake. It's not like washing with water now that we're talking about. Washing with water here doesn't mean washing with water, right? You understand what I mean? But when you now fully awake, so my own, as I became awake, I did not only, because I now see other people that are still sleeping around me. Because now a lot of wealth around them, but they are sleeping. So you have to wake up. That's why I gather a lot of you here. And I'm very sure that you know that, okay, you are now becoming more awake than you were. And I tell you, this is applying to anybody. Myself, I'm still getting more awareness. I watched a video with a staff, somebody today. Like that video was on another level. And I said, I'm not going to post it for you guys this week again because I posted one. So I'm going to post it next week, but it's amazing. So his question was that who is motivating me now? My motivation now mostly come internally. I found out, oh, please give me a few time. I found out that if your motivator is external, you are always going to go back to sleep. There's every possibility that you're always going to go back to sleep. But if your motivator, you have tried so hard to make it internal, whatever your drive is it your parent that is driving you? Is it sometimes it can even start, it's the money that is even driving you from the start. But what I advise is don't allow the money drive you, because money cannot drive you to the end. You have to find a purpose, a meaning to the drive. So it can be connected to your, whether helping your parents, either helping your siblings, either helping your spouse, either helping the humanity. Just connect something very much meaningful that is very heavy. And this is what can really keep you awake. Sometimes I can't imagine when I think about, okay, how many people need to come into this community? If I just think about it, and how many people has been lighting up just because they are here, then imagine that sometimes the question that keeps me very terribly awake is, imagine that I did not get to speak to those other people that need to hear my voice. So I need to work very hard, and I need to not to just sleep anyhow. I need to make research so that when I meet some people can be even more on a higher level for me to handle than some of you here already. Like they are more technical, their problem is more complicated. So I need to develop myself, train myself so much so that when I get to their level, I can help them. But I know that's what I'm born to do. So I need to prepare myself for it. And I'm relating this to the first person that I asked. You need to develop yourself for the journey. And now, if your internal motivator is stronger than the external motivator, then to stay on track is easy. But if your external motivator, if people around you that talk you into doing things are stronger than what you have inside of you, your fire is going to quench in no time. You may just be struggling to, that fire will always like be struggling to find lighter. Then am I always like this? The answer is no. I'm not always like, in fact, I was, like I said, lost before. Even as I finished my master's degree, collect my certificate, that day where I collect my certificate from the Senate building, I came out, I was looking at it, I don't even know what it means, because I did not see the value I expected, even in my head or even in my personal life. But I've spent 8 years already studying chemistry. So, but I had to now find a way to just leave that place shamelessly in my head. So now I was not always like that. So through study, through books, self-help books, through YouTube videos, sometimes, like I said, I'll bring a topic. For example, if I'm talking about self-discovery, I can get to watch 20 videos on the same topic. I can get to read 10 books on the same topic. I'll just be killing that topic until when I have a mental flow on it. Like I have a clear understanding on it, then I'll move to the next. Now, this is what a lot of us don't do. And that's why we're always in the same place. So I think, I don't know, Rabino, if I've responded to your question. I'd like to stop here.
Yes, sir,
Hey,
yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Please, how many people got something from this talk? Like, I don't know. I need to appreciate Mr. Emmanuel for his effort of trying to stop Mr. Kabi, because I'm struggling to do that. I'm always expecting more things for him to say more things. Mr. Emmanuel, you actually tried. Okay, sir. So Mr. Bulus sent his question. I'm going to be reading it. He says, "Good evening, Mr. Chairman, sir. Here are my questions. Can financial success be sustained if someone's mindset is still rooted in fear, scarcity, or comparison? The number two question is, what is more dangerous, building wealth without self-knowledge, or knowing yourself but lacking financial wisdom?"
Oh, very good question. So let's start with number one. Can financial success be sustained if someone's mindset is still rooted in fear? So you see, I don't know, you have to know your definition of success. Okay? You have to know your definition of success first, which I don't want to digress into defining success for, but one of the most amazing definitions I've found to success is someone who discover themselves. By discovery, we mean you know your talent, you know your gift, you know what you are good at, you develop it. Then the second part of it is you start developing it. That you can sing naturally does not mean your song can make sense to people. You know? So, but by the time you know, okay, this is where you sing a little bit higher, this is where you bring it down, this is where you do rhythm, this is how the music's supposed to align. So, and by the time you sing it, you have that's the development. Now you need to meet people that already know how can be developed, and people appreciate it. And so once you combine that, your self-discovery of singing pattern to the development of skillful part of it, and then you begin to now see how you can package this music, which is the deployment part. That is, you discover, you develop, you deploy. You discover the things, you develop the things, and then you deploy it like a product and services to serve people so that they can enjoy and pay for it. So anybody that can do this, to me, this is the height of success. But again, when you now say that if you don't have a mindset, if you have a mindset of fear, scarcity, and comparison, so these are actually killer of success. All these ones, they are very terrible, like they are always holding gun. If the level of success you are right now, you have it, and you still have fear, you have scarcity, you have comparison. So it means that you can do times 10, you would have done times 10 of where you are right now, you would have done times 10 or 10x or 20x or even 50x. But because of that fear, that was what has kept you. That's why I said, I don't know what you call success. I don't know the benchmark. I don't know the level of freedom you call success. I don't know the level of account you call success. Amount in your account you call success. But again, whatever it is that you are worth right now, and you still have fear and scarcity in them, and you are comparing, these ones are killer. They have already even shared all those your success into, they have scattered it for you. It's just little that they put in your hands. So you have to learn to deal with fear. And how do you deal with all of these things? You have to take small risk. By fear, for example, you have to start taking small risk. You know, sometimes it's more painful. What people don't know is that it's more painful not to take risk. Let me give you an example. People fear that they cannot start a business, that they rather go looking for a job because there's job security. But unknown to them, the conversation they are not having is that they are going to live their entire lifetime working for a peanut that cannot save them. Like Dr. Cosmos Maduka said, it's like they will be taking salary, right? So the salary is like is like something that they think will solve their problem. I think the way he put it was, it's like a cancer that they have to manage. You can't cure it. He says salary is like it's meant to cure poverty, but it can only manage it. So you have to live with it. It's like HIV you have. So you have to just keep taking drugs and managing. So please, ladies and gentlemen, what is more risky than when you enter business? Now, there's every possibility that you start having financial freedom. That same job security you are looking for, which by the end of it is financial security you are looking for, but you focus on job security, which cannot give you financial freedom. But now, when you enter business, for example, you can now have financial freedom, even though it is considered more risky. But which is more risky? Living your entire life knowing fully well that from the beginning you cannot cure what you think you are curing, or entering somewhere that you are guaranteed that maybe after 1, 2, 3 years, if you follow the right steps, right mentors, you are definitely going to break through. So where is the risk? Where is the risk higher? Actually, the risk at the working at a job, which is not bad, but the risk there is higher. So you may want to deal with these things, you know. It's just around learning. Scarcity is around learning. Comparison is something, it's just a bad habit that you need to, each time, if you want to do that, think about your thoughts. Each time your mind wants to compare, you stop it. You have to stop it. You have to punish yourself if need be. So it's just, you have to just stop it, because it limits you even without you knowing. You may be thinking that you are very successful now, but it limits you already. Like auto is running on auto. especially scarcity. So you can't have a scarcity mindset. Whatever you have achieved now is still a scarcity to you. Because in the universe, the reason why we cannot now say that you are still successful even with scarcity is that there's nothing in the universe that you cannot have to yourself. Do you know Elon Musk now? Only him. If they put all this of wealth of Africa, Elon Musk is bigger than us. So what are we now saying? Is that a single person? So how can you now be scared? What are you scared of? What is the scarcity you are having? So the universe, as much as, and it doesn't matter if it has given to Elon Musk, it can still give to you. Somebody will come someday that will be bigger than Elon Musk. That is very possible. So what is the scarcity about? It's just your own insecurity, mindsets, limitations. So you are living with a limited mindset in a limitless world of wealth. That's the problem. Now, the second part is, what is more dangerous? Building wealth without self-knowledge, or knowing yourself but lacking financial. So, if you build any wealth without self-knowledge, it would have given you a lot of struggle. It's a lot of struggle. Because you try very well when you know what you are good at, when you know the talent you have, when you know the gift you have from God, when you have the message you have to deliver, you know it. Just imagine me now. So how was I able to deal with all the background noise in my life, live through all the challenges of working at a job, even quit one of the highest jobs that people respect in the country, which is lecturing? Even at a younger age, I was already a lecturer too, doing very well, even having an award. How was I able to quit all of that? It has to be that I am thriving in what I was born to do and what I am convinced about to do and what I know how to do best, even though I was not best at it yet at that time. But the conviction was very high because internally there is this inbuilt energy that God used to. They say whatever God has put in your mind to do, He has already given you the ability prior to even letting you know. You already have the inbuilt ability. But that what some people are afraid of, or what they don't see is that undeveloped abilities cannot naturally help you achieve what God has put in you. Untrained capacity, you have to need capacity, which is the reason why in 200 level, aside just giving you awareness, we have to take you through processes that help you develop skills. And these skills help to uncover more of who you are from the internal being. And that way, so you know yourself, you have built yourself, and you can now attain the level of wealth. Now, let me say this. Some people can have money. That you are rich does not mean you are wealthy. That you have money does not mean you are wealthy. Money is not the absolute definition of wealth. So that you have some numbers to it in your account does not mean you are wealthy. So, but true wealth comes with self-awareness, and then that self-awareness transforms into product and services. And what is the essence behind it? What's the reason behind this wonderful definition? So you are going to be working and you are going to be earning money. And the other person who does not recognize or develop himself or discover himself is going to be working and is going to be making money. But the difference is, each time you wake up, you are just passionate, you are just playing, but money comes naturally. But the person we have to work, like it's a serious struggle and work. That's the difference. That's where real successful people actually don't work every day of their life. They never get to work again. So the moment you discover yourself, what you are passionate about, and you do it willingly, like we said in the definition, whether people pay you or not, you are just going to keep doing it. And again, to make it amazing, they are not even paying you. So, but knowing yourself and lacking financial wisdom, the problem is, this is how the problem is to, I love your question, guy. What the problem is to happen is that now some people know themselves, they know that they are good singer, but they have never gone to sing, people that are singing, knowing how to do the music, knowing how to, where to sing. Like they can just be singing trash, like they are naturally talented to open their mouth and sing, but that doesn't mean that you are making sense to the world. For example, I give you an example with myself. So you see, the energy which I used to talk, you know that I'm a naturally talkative. So this is a natural ability God gave me. But that doesn't mean that I now want to talk, people want to listen. But what did I do? I started talking as a teacher, and they are not paying me well. It's still the same talking I'm talking. I went to a higher lecturing level. There's no paying me very well. So, but now I'm talking wealth, I'm building wealth, and I'm building wealthy people. I have a wealthy community. It's still the same talkative. But if you go out there now, you are going to see a lot of people that make noise. You're going to say, "Well, keep quiet. You are just disturbing us." What is the difference between me and the person? I've technically I've skilled my conversation, and there is an ingredient around it that make it have weight for people, and it solves problem. Because I've developed it, my conversations are very meaningful. So you can't listen to it and remain the same. So I've added value to it. So now I have knowledge and I have talent, but my talent, I learn to make it useful. Finally, you have to put it into system. You see the way we are designing Leeds Synergies University as Wealth Creation University. So if you have a system, because I can talk, if I say, let me just keep talking, I'll get tired at a point, or I'll get to a level where I can no longer talk the way I used to talk. So what happened with the word stop? No. Now, if you have a system, other people have now learned to talk because you have taught them a pattern in the system, and there's a way that the system has to be rewarded each time a conversation comes from there, whether it comes from the person that started it, whether it doesn't come, but the system is already there and it's clear. So what does it mean? That you have a knowledge, but you have not transformed the knowledge into value enough for people to pay, or you have a talent and the talent has not been housed in a system where people recognize that they can go through and get value for it and pay for it. That doesn't mean you are going to be wealthy, even if you know yourself. You are untrained knowing. You are untrained knower self. Sorry, the grammar is lost. So, but I hope I answered this question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Man, tonight's session is something else. I don't know how you guys are seeing this.
But let me add something I just remember. And I think it's better you don't even know yourself than to know yourself and you didn't help to bring yourself to the light of helping other people with what you know about yourself. It's better you don't even know about yourself. So because the struggle is now going to be, there is this pain of you now know what you're supposed to do, but you are not built enough to do it. You are not strong enough to do it. You are not disciplined enough to do it. That pain, you have it because even at your old age, when you are dying, you are going to die with a lot of regrets. But if you don't know, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. And that will be easier on you, even though that's why they say when you go to burial ground, that's where a lot of destinies dying dreams, you can see a lot of wealth. They say there is a lot of wealth there, which I agree. And many of you also agree. So it's better you don't even know yourself. But the moment you know yourself, you can't unknow yourself. You have to go and build yourself. And the discipline of building yourself to now making yourself valuable is where a lot of people get hooked. And that is where the real pain is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay. Does anybody want to ask any other question? Okay, sir. While we're waiting for other people to ask, while you were talking, I thought about something because you said something that most people are scared of businesses and that's why they go into white collar jobs. And I felt like, oh, sir, just mention my name because that was me before, because I was always scared of starting a business and all of that. But that fear is gone anyway. Now I'm no longer scared of starting anything by myself. But it's as though maybe the fear is coming in stages because what I have now is like, okay, what if maybe there's this government policies that just shakes everything, and like let's say the increase or the money I'm receiving from the business as a revenue doesn't come like before, and maybe a lot of what if at the moment. But I'm checking this answer that you gave. It has actually defined some things. Okay, but I don't know if you'd like to. I would like you to throw more light on it, sir, about this particular part.
Okay, that was a very wonderful one. That was a very nice question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. You're going to get a message tonight, right? So first, I'd like to clarify this. It is not bad to work at a job, please. It is not bad to work at a job. well, I will also believe that some people might be able to thrive best when they manage other people's business. Like that's their calling. So, and that's why you need to know what actually your calling is. That's why you don't go out there when you see all the mentors preaching, you have to start a business. That's where the freedom is. Actually, your freedom might just be managing somebody else's vision, because that vision is your vision, but your operation in that vision, not a vision career. Like you are an operation person. When it comes to running the day-to-day, people management, that is your calling. You cannot create business. If you want to create it, that is not your calling. So there are people that I watched somebody online. The person said he has created, in 1 year he has created over 98 businesses that is running fully funded, and people are working actively at it. The level of capacity this person needs to keep those business running, you probably might not have. Even we're not talking about 98, just to even create one business and run it like a vision, like a visionary that crack their head and see what should happen next. Like what's the direction? Because it's war. That thing is war. Waking up every day, not, for example, if we are to pay salary now, sometimes maybe on the list we may be talking around 10 million naira. Now, just assume for a minute that there is no money in the account and the month has ended. Are you going to tell the staff that you don't have money? They are over 120 something, some of them, like in some brands, or over, almost 150 on the total. How can you now? You are going to be now. You say, when you say the fear is in different levels, and I agree with you. Even right now, as we are afraid of so many things. Even the government policies or some simple things they have changed in government can push you out of the business, right? So, and that's why I think a lot of people just keep that job security, which is not bad, like I said earlier. So, but you need to be ready for life, because the higher the price you can pay, the higher the result you can get. So you need to know what you can do and what you are ready to take. Which shit are you really ready to take? So for me not to forget, right, I want to tell you this, that everybody is afraid. Hope, everybody is afraid. Even Elon Musk is afraid. You remember when Elon Musk had to try his SpaceX? He has to try it almost 3 times. The 4th time was when he got it right, and he almost run out of funds. But I want to tell you that he was not doing all of those things with all the certainty that he's going to get it right. But he still keep trying anyway. So what is the difference between the most successful people and unsuccessful people? They house their fear. Although I'm afraid, but I'll still try anyway. This is how they do it. Right now, Mr. Kabida is talking to even the entire of this university. I was afraid to start anything. I wasn't even thinking that a lot of people will find me very serious and want to listen to me. But I just have to start it anyway. I was showing a colleague, one of us here this afternoon, where I was writing the dream. I have that document, I think around 2024, where I was writing out the dreams. I'm going to create a university. Even the name I called the university, I still have the document with me here. So that I don't want to put on the camera, but let me read from that document. What I said the university name is going to be University of Creative Imagination, and the motto will be bring your thoughts to life. That is the motto. But now, obviously today, that's not the motto, but I showed him the document. He was just like, how? So you mean you actually had this document? I said, look at the date. I wrote the date. Look at the writing. The entire of that document, there is writing all over it, and it's printed. And it's all talking about the dreams and what I want to do inside it on the university. That was far back as 2024. So when I show him those things, I said, but the name shifted because people begin to come. This one suggests their ideas. You can see, you can agree with me today that many of the things we are doing in this university is not my thing alone now. But I carry the vision, I believe in the vision, and people are helping me drive the vision. Now again, what makes the vision very stable and more powerful is that people now see themselves driving the vision as though it is their own vision. And this is the part that I like to talk about a little bit, if you give me the time. And I said we're going to change the concept of employee in the whole of Africa or in the whole of the world using this university. What do I mean? Nobody, and I repeat, nobody is supposed to be at the mercy of another person on a paycheck, working from month to month, living from hand to mouth. That is not supposed to be. The moment some of these people that are producing this value have this awareness that though I can't start a business, but I can help somebody run a business because that's my calling. So you start the business, me run it, and we are doing 50-50. It's win-win. Remember what Stephen R. Covey said: you win, I win, we have a deal. You win, I lose, no deal. You lose, I win, no deal. That is the concept. That is the principle. So how about you operate the business, me, I create the business, and then we share. So why do I have to pay you peanuts for running a business for me? That's a serious question. But now a lot of entrepreneurs will not agree with me on this. But I know what I'm saying. That's the system I'm already building. But for me to speak to the world, I need to show them that this is how it works, and this is the living witnesses I have. And I know this will come to pass. So first, I will finalize this to say that you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in the value you carry. You need to believe in whatever dream, I don't know, whatever you see. If you are not seeing yet, please keep checking. You are going to see. Because sometimes what happens is that you are so far away from seeing, and people use their physical eyes rather than their inner mind. So look inward, keep seeing, Oga, keep studying, keep reading, keep going to people that will spark you up. And then you are definitely going to know somehow, someday what you are so good at. Now, what happens is that if you find yourself in something you can do best, you can become creative. Even if the whole world is against you, somebody still needs to pay for your services. And then you can never run out of business. You might run out of selling a particular product, but you can always switch. I told myself that day, say, do you know what we are doing in this community? If I said I want to start charging people, come, let me mentor you. Do you know how much I'll be receiving? So, but that's not even the business I want to do. The opportunities are going to be like endless. You are never going to be caught unaware. You are never going to be interrupted. If you're interrupted here, the new things will pull. But if you don't believe yourself so much to see all of these things, it's never going to happen by chance. You have to think them carefully. You have to work them carefully. You have to act them carefully. And they have to come to light right before your eye. But you have to believe it even before they come to light. So the conviction has to be very stronger than the physical world, even before you get started. I don't know if I responded to this question, but the fears are normal. Don't think that every other person that is succeeding out there is not afraid. No, me talking to you today, I'm very, very afraid, even at this level. What if the government say, because like, for example, there's this message some time ago that they're going to stop all the natural herbs sellers in Africa or in Nigeria particularly. They want to stop them. That is only pharmaceutical or anything they will stop. But that's what I said. So just imagine for a minute, if they stop that, do you think I'm going to stop making money? No, the answer is no. I'm bigger than that. I know what I carry. So anything I hold in my hand, I'll sell it. So I think one of the secrets is just to be a powerful seller. Like you can just sell anything, just sell. Product or services, it doesn't matter. You produce it or not, it doesn't matter. Just be a powerful seller. So you can never run out of money because people will always buy. Even you this morning, how many things have you bought? And people sold it to you. So it's just about fixing yourself to whatever people need. Keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. So I don't know if I answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You actually answered the question. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have another question here by Mr. Solomon. Okay, he said, Mr. Chairman, sir, what is the difference between vision and purpose in life? That's number one. Then number two, he said, some dreams of the night do happen in the physical and influences us psychologically based on our individual beliefs. If you keep having a dream of the night that is revealing things contrary to your vision or conviction, what do you do? Do you switch to that vision haunting you in the dreams, or keep focusing on your convinced visions?
Oh, this question, the question is long. Okay. let me start with the first one. So I'm trying to understand the questions, but let me try. So what is the difference between vision and purpose in life? I think this is straightforward. So vision is what you see. Purpose is the reason behind it, behind achieving it. Okay, for example, I see everybody becoming successful and not tied in one corner, or maybe lack of exposure, just suffering unnecessarily in Africa. I see that there's possibility that everybody can just Even if you are not too wealthy like Dangote, like Sha, you have some level of wealth. The possibilities are there. That's what I see. So when what gives it meaning? So I'm passionate about seeing people like you have to become the best version of yourself. You have to become the best version of yourself. And the only way to show that you can become the best version of yourself is when you have a result to show for it. You have to have, that's why we say that, okay, at least have $1 million, like a benchmark. That's your graduation certificate. Have $1 million as a net worth. So we now say that, yes, to an extent, so you can live for yourself, not just for yourself, you can touch other people's life. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. So what's the essence of you have so much on this earth and you have so many businesses and you are not really impacting the humanity? Like, what's the essence? Because now it's either you give back when you are making it or you die and it's taken back. I don't know, somehow, whether than by force or by crook, but you have to live someday to leave this place. And whatever you are achieving, I was so happy that they just last week when I saw Dangote saying that they have signed it with the daughters and the mom already, that the moment he died, 25% of his entire wealth will go to his foundation, and that should be used for humanity, so every other thing can proceed. You see now? So you have to intentionally give back. So for me, people like me, starting from my knowledge, starting from the little I'm earning already, the meaning to it is I want to see humanity progress before I leave this place. So I see that vision that a lot of people have to be financially free. So, but again, let me define this. The vision is what you see. The purpose is what gives meaning to it. That you see and there is no meaning to it does not mean you can go and follow that vision. You will suffer. You suffer inside it. Like what makes it look like a calling is the purpose behind the vision. Now, he said, let me go to the second one. Some dreams of the night do happen in the physical and influences us psychologically based on an individual beliefs. If you keep having a dream of the night, okay, you keep having a dream of the night that is revealing things contrary to your vision or conviction, what do? Do you switch? So now,
Can I add?
okay, you want to ask the question?
I want to attempt to, if you don't mind.
Okay, please, sir, help me. Thank you.
No, the floor is yours. I just want to chip in. Okay. I want to believe, maybe probably to have an understanding. For instance, maybe you have vision of being something. Maybe let me use instance of medical doctor and then being a businessman, and then your dream. Why I'm saying that, because some believe, like we're dealing with belief systems, some of us still believes in the effectiveness of dreams, right? Even
Yes.
in research, in chemistry, one of the structures we study was a dream somebody had, and then he brought the structure, and the structure was able to explain what is happening in his lab. So he introduced it, and we are using it. That is benzene.
Yes.
So till date, people still get revelations. Even Hills also talk about that when he have his executive meetings, he will sleep, his subconscious is still. So now you have a different vision. And if you have monitored and studied yourself, that is about knowing yourself, and you know your dreams are active and they always manifest. So it therefore means that your dream becomes the point of confirmation of whatever thing you are doing, or examination of whatever you are thinking, because sometimes your desire at times may be contrary to where you are going to. You are just forcing yourself towards a line simply because someone talked you into it, or you saw somebody that looks like that, but originally there was something you are built, just like Mr. Kabi talked about managing business and building a business. Right? It's still part of self-understanding and self-awareness to know yourself. And the fact we are trying to do mind change does not mean that we discard what we have built our system on, but that we leverage on that, do away with some certain things that are not healthy. So if your dreams are active and you have studied it over time, is authentic, and it comes to life, then it means that you may give it a 60 or 70% consideration when you are making your decision. So I think that's what I want to put in that part.
Yes. So in addition to what he has said, he has laid the foundation. So I'm just going to add to what he said. So I don't know, we should go and study this thing they call intuition. Intuition. So that sometimes you may have understood some certain things, or some certain things are happening in your life. Like for me, what I do is I'll take my time to now start studying that thing very deeply. Some of you might notice recently I'm studying what they call metacognition. So I'm studying it very deeply, and I've watched like 3 different authors who are talking about it on their YouTube handle. So I study a lot, and it helped me clarify. Sometimes even some mentors might not just straightforward be able to tell you or interpret what your mind is telling you. For example, I'll give you this example. So I approached one mentor, I paid him, and then we are doing 90-minute session together. And he told me that my dream or my vision to be able to empower 1 million people in the next 10 years, which is 9 years now, from 2025 to 2035 is 10 years. So this is 2026, it's already remaining 9 years. He said that mission looks like it's impossible. I asked him, why do you say that? And he said things like, now let's look at it. How many number of people did you empower last year? I told him. He said, wow, very little. Then how many people are you empowering this year? I said, we have about 30 people in the community now. We're trying to see how all of them. He said, even with that, that's still very little compared to the number of people. If you divide, you do the mathematics, and by the end of the day, I think we will find in 1 million, is it 1 million people per year to be able to reach that volume? Because we also look at the percentage of 20-80 rule. That is, in every 100, there's every possibility that is 20 that are good out of it. Then the rest 80 might just be like the noise around it, which is normal in the law of that Pareto's law. That for everything you are looking at, the numbering in averaging, you need to look at in every 100, you are likely to have 20 who are serious and 80 who are not. Or even if they are serious, they don't belong to the vision. They might just fall out in a way. So which is very true, because you notice, like, for example, 2025, we started with about 11 people. But out of those 11 people, a lot of people are still struggling. They are still coming up. But people who has really come up from there, they are no more than 2 or 3. So from 11, you can see the 80-20 rule has already come into play now. So the guy now told me that the number of people you need to have in that system right now to be able to meet up with that target is never possible right now, and I'm not seeing it. But me, I told him I'm seeing it. He said, but look at the numbers. It's confirming it. I said, yes, I agree with the numbers. But I know it's going to be possible. He said, how? Now, all of a sudden, he started recommending one book, Whether Outliers, what did he call it? He said, the guy stated that there's a way that you so keep doing something, you so keep believing in something, you so keep repeating it, such a way that all of a sudden, that thing will just boom, and everything just blow. That one day, you can see hundreds or thousands of people trooping into that university. So, and I told him that, okay, so you know about this law, and you are telling me it's not going to be possible. Now, he told me to go home and change it. And he said I should change the dates. I should shift the 2035, or I should not put that benchmark to it. Or I should change the number of people. And I said, no. And somebody said 10,000 hour rule. Thank you very much. So he taught me that rule. He now said, so that thing can just change the thing. I said, yes, so maybe we can go with that rule. But I know I'm not changing anything, and that is going to happen. Now, why am I bringing this story? My intuition, what I see deep down, the conviction is so deep within that I know that this is what we should do, and this thing should come to pass. I don't know how the universe wants to supply it, but I know the possibilities are there. The AI can help us, automations can help us. Whatever that can happen will happen, but this thing we have to be, I can't change it because that's what I see. You can't tell me to change it. Now, he was my mentor, but because in my intuition, I'm so convinced on this. So there's this level of conviction you have that whether you are sleeping, whether you are not sleeping, you have that conviction, so you can go for it. Sometimes the reason why some people think they are confused is that they have not actually sit down to reflect. There's a session I'm going to be holding with you guys where I said there are 5 stages of wealth creation, where I said number 1 is to pause, number 2 is to reflect, number 3 is to act, number 4 is to document, and number 5 is to repeat. So if I take you to that session, some people, it's either they are putting their hands in so many things, such a way that thing is what is even confusing, because your subconscious mind you have already confused your subconscious mind by putting your hands into so many things you are doing. So each time you are trying to decide, it's very, very tough for you to decide because you are here, you are there, your thought is there, your thought is here. You know that you are just so many things, you are not focused in one thing. And you are never going to have clarity doing that. And you're going to confuse. So those dreams, even in the dreams, you are going to be confused. But the day I decided that I should have stayed back, my HOD said, stay back. There's a way I can assist you. You can keep strategically having your classes. You come around and then you can still go back home if there's something you are doing there. But I said, no, ma, I want to go. There's something I've seen that I want to go and achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have seen then. That it has not even come to light. Some of you that I've met here, I've wrote it down 3-4 years ago that this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to meet some people. I've written down some now this year. Last year, I've refined some. There are people that I've wrote down in this my document now that they have not come to this university, but you are going to see them. So what am I saying in essence? The conviction is very high in my head. And nothing, any other dream is going to, even my subconscious mind confirm this. Even my dreams confirm this, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm awake. So this is the essence of focus. You have to focus. And I think what you are dealing with is probably focus. Because when yourself, you have never focused on one thing, you don't expect your subconscious mind to focus on one thing. So somebody's type, Mary Grace said, please, if you have a vision in line with your purpose, and that particular vision is taking too much of your time, thereby not allowing you to build competence in the main purpose, what do you do? Okay, this is another question. I thought she was adding up to what but before I answer this, your question, the person that asked this question, do you have clarity? The person that asked the last question, Mr. Solomon?
Yes, relatively, yes.
So, okay, what I will advise you to do is to go back and look at what really convinced you around everything that you have mentioned. What are you more convincing about? And then you begin to pull your energy and concentrate more towards that thing that you are more convinced about, especially not just mere conviction, but you have some facts to back it up. Then you can rely there and build your life there. But you need to stay in one place before you can be recognized as an expert for one thing that people will want to be recognized with you for. So, and the next question Mary Grace is asking is that you already see that your vision is clear, but maybe you don't have the time. Okay, now that's why I said, so a lot of people, the problem is that, okay, let me talk about the post I read some days back, maybe 3 days back. Say, Alex Amosi said, your 9 to 5 is not your problem. Your lack of using your 5 to 9 is actually the challenge you have. Let me say this again. If you are doing 9 to 5 job, meaning your daytime is for your boss, that is not actually why you are failing or why you are not doing what you ought to be doing for yourself. But your inability to be able to use from the 5 o'clock p.m. to 9 a.m. the next day, that's throughout the night now, your inability to be able to use that place very well is actually the problem you have. And how does that work? So no matter how busy you want to tell me that you are in this world, there are supposed to be some part of those time, either in the evening between 8 o'clock, as we're having this session here, to 10 o'clock, that is 2 hours. Or either from, if you are too serious like me, from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. in the night, sometimes midnight, like that. And sometimes maybe you can sleep this time and now use maybe from 4 a.m. There was a time I woke up 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 before you go to work. That's 3 hours, 3 powerful hours. So what happened to these hours? Even if you claim that you are
Hello, everybody. Please Can you hear me or is it
I can hear you. I
okay?
think Mr. Kabia just disappeared. Maybe it's network.
Oh,
We can hear you, man. Maybe it's the network.
all right.
Sorry, my
See,
network, my system just went off. So no matter how busy you are, like I said, you can actually be able to manage some, even if it's 1 hour in between that time. If you manage 1 hour every day for 365 days, that's 365 hours. And if you do that throughout this year with all the level of intentionality, you should start having some clarity. You should start building some skills. We did 30 days challenge. A lot of people that did that with us, 30 days money challenge. People that did that would have known that there's level of change they have within those 30 days. Now, assume you did it for 365 days. That's 12 months. And you did it, let's assume you did it for 3 years. Yes, within that period, you can build awareness, you can build competence in a skill, you can start developing a business plan, you can start developing an exit plan, you can even start making money prior to leaving. Even the money can start sustaining, especially in these days of technology. You don't actually need to be in a position before you run a business. So this thing is a level of, is a plan. Sometimes the problem that you have used like 30 years to gather, you cannot use 1 month to solve it. Like you have missteps for the past maybe 30 years or 25 years of your life or even 20 years of your life. Now you are trying to rearrange all of a sudden, but you want to get it right within 1 month or within 1 year or even within 3 years. Sometimes it's too quick. Your timeline is too quick because the mindset that have drive you into the level you are now, or the kind of responsibility that you have gathered now, you didn't take 1 year to gather it. And obviously you need to give yourself time. You need to now give yourself the consistency, and you need to be patient with the result that you are getting, but be very aggressive with the process of getting whatever you are getting or whatever you are building. Now, this kind of community, you wonder why some people will still not be active in participating, even when all of these things are free, but it's the same people that will still tell you that they don't know why this thing is not working. Me, I know why it's not working. It is never going to work. If you want it to work, you have to make it work. Let me end this with this quote. Jamie Pajora said that whatever that you see working, there is a brain behind it at work. Now, you are probably working, but you have no work for the time being that is supposed to be able to neutralize all the missteps you have in the past. So you need to give yourself time, and you need to put in the energy, you need to put in the work. You don't have to deceive yourself this time. If it has to take you 5 years, I promised myself when I left my job, and I'm obviously not advising all of you to leave your job, don't do that. Because now, if I would have advice, I would have stayed back while building what I'm building, because it doesn't stop me until when I know that, because the moment I leave that place, it was chaos in my life. For the next 18, I think 8 to 10 or thereabout months was a lot of chaos because I couldn't have something to sustain myself. And that was very terrible. I never want to experience that again. But again, it's one of the fuel that I had. That was my initial drive to make sure that I succeed, because people that I left there were looking back and saying, Shebi, we told you. Some of them are already saying it. But I went and hide. Nobody was seeing me until when I cannot be able to see some result in my life before I started coming out to the limelight again. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I stop. I hope this answers Mary Grace's question. And this is where we draw the
Okay, everyone. Mr. Kabe is out again. So thank you very much for this awesome time. Thank you for being present here, and I hope you learned something. And I hope will be able to make use of what you learned today. It's not just by hearing, but also by doing what you have heard. Okay, everybody. Okay, Mr. Kabi is back.
No, that will be all. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everybody. Good night, everybody.